Hello, English learners. Welcome back to another lesson with us at English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we don't feel very good.
That's right. Actually, in this lesson, we're talking about a hangover.
Hangover. Wow, that's an interesting word. What does that mean?
Well, when you drink beer or wine or vodka, and you drink too much of it, the next morning you have a hangover.
Okay, so a lot of our listeners have probably experienced a hangover before.
It's very likely.
But the problem is when you have to go to work the next day.
Yes, and you might need to actually miss work, but you need some good words and phrases to describe how bad you feel.
Okay, so let's listen to this dialogue for the first time. We have a guy describing his hangover and why he missed work that day.
Are you okay, man? You don't look very well.
I feel terrible. I went out last night with Trevor and things got a little out of hand.
Nice. So where did you guys go?
We hit up a couple of local bars and met up with some friends. Everything was cool until Mike came along, and it turned out that it was his birthday yesterday.
Oh no! Mike's birthday is a drink fest for sure.
Tell me about it. We drank everything in the bar.
Is that why you missed work today?
Yeah, I woke up this morning feeling really nauseous. I threw up like 5 times.
Ew.
I was so dehydrated that I drank a gallon of water and my head has been pounding all day. I swear, I am never going to drink again.
Too bad, man. Tonight is Tracy's going away party and she asked if you were going to go.
Oh yeah? I'm there.
All right, so he's never drinking again, but then at the next chance for a party, he's already ready to go.
I think that's the typical lie of every person that drinks. They say, I'll never drink again, but a week later or a month later, they are again.
Or a day later.
All right, so we saw some great vocab here, so let's look at it now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
We're going to look at 5 words here. Now, the first one, they talked about how Mike's birthday is a drink fest.
A drink fest.
It's a drink fest.
All right, so we have this word drink fest. Now, what is this fest part?
Well, maybe you recognize the word Oktoberfest.
Okay, or festival.
So fest is like a party. There's lots of food. There's lots of drink. A drink fest is an event where there's a lot of drinks.
Okay, so can I have different types of fests?
Yeah, this is a really informal sort of slang way of saying there's lots of something. So I could say, oh my God, it's a puppy fest.
So there are a lot of puppies. Or I can say like a fast food fest.
Okay, so you're eating a lot of fast food.
There's a lot of fast food.
Yep.
All right, so fest, interesting. Now, when he was describing his hangover, he said that he felt really nauseous.
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 Now, I always have a hard time spelling this word. So Nauseous. Nauseous.
Nauseous. It kind of seems like you should say nauseous.
Right, but
you say nauseous.
yeah. Okay, so when you're feeling nauseous, what do you feel like?
So you feel dizzy, you don't feel very well.
Like your stomach hurts.
Yeah, and your head is kind of spinning.
Okay, and you feel like you might throw up.
Right, exactly. Now, this word that you just mentioned, throw up, is actually our next word, and, well, we're not going to describe it. Why don't we just listen to a person throwing up?
Oh, Marco, that was horrible.
Well, that's the only way we could actually explain throw up. I mean, it's kind of a hard word to explain, but I'm sure everyone understands now what it means, right?
Okay, the word is to throw up.
To throw up.
To throw up. Our next word. Now, our guy who's hungover, he said, I was so dehydrated.
dehydrated.
To be dehydrated.
So this is an adjective, and it means that I have no water in my body.
Exactly.
Okay, so I am dehydrated. I need water.
Yeah, common feeling after drinking too much beer, huh?
Exactly.
Now our final word, he said he had a headache, and he said, my head's been pounding all day.
Okay, so his head has been pounding all day.
Now this verb, pounding, it sounds like this.
All right, so a clear example of what your head feels like when you have this very bad headache.
You can also say, I have a pounding headache,
I have a pounding headache, exactly.
or my head is pounding.
All right, so 5 great words that we just looked at right now. So why don't we listen to our dialogue a second time? Let's slow it down just a little bit, and then we'll come back and take a look at some phrases.
Are you okay, man? You don't look very well.
I feel terrible. I went out last night with Trevor, and things got a little out of hand.
Nice. So where did you guys go?
We hit up a couple of local bars and met up with some friends. Everything was cool until Mike came along, and it turned out that it was his birthday yesterday.
Oh no. Mike's birthday is a drink fest for sure.
Tell me about it. We drank everything in the bar.
Is that why you missed work today?
Yeah, I woke up this morning feeling really nauseous. I threw up like 5 times.
Ew.
I was so dehydrated that I drank a gallon of water, and my head has been pounding all day. I swear, I am never going to drink again.
Too bad, man. Tonight is Tracy's going away party, and she asked if you were gonna go.
Oh yeah? I'm there.
All right, well, that was a little easier to understand this time. Now, you mentioned that we've got some great phrases, so let's go to them now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right, so as we heard in the dialogue, the party was, I think it was a great party, right?
Well, it sounds like it was fantastic.
Well, apparently it was a great party, and he said that he went out with Trevor, and things got a little out of hand.
Things got a little out of hand.
Right, so things got a little out of hand.
Now, to get out of hand, what's that mean?
Well, we have some examples, so let's listen to a couple of them before we explain it.
Example 1.
Honey, the kids are getting a little out of hand. Can you do something?
Example 2.
Guys, this argument is getting out of hand. Let's all calm down.
Example 3.
The party last night got out of hand. The neighbors called the police.
Okay, so when things get out of hand, you lose control.
Exactly, they get out of control, just a little bit maybe.
Yeah, go a little crazy.
All right, so things got a little out of hand. Now, the opposite of this was everything was cool.
Everything was cool.
So everything was cool.
So basically, everything was okay, everything was relaxed, everything was going fine.
Exactly. And then Mike came along, and then things got a little out of hand.
Oh, that Mike.
And now for our last phrase. He was describing that Mike's birthday party was a drink fest, right?
And then his friend agreed. He said, tell me about it.
Tell me about it.
Tell me about it.
Now, what does this mean exactly when he says tell me about it?
Basically, it means I completely understand.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could say, oh my God, Marco, it's so hot outside today.
Right, and I would say, oh, I know, tell me about it. Right? So I'm saying, yeah, I agree with you, you are right.
Yep.
Very good. So these phrases, okay, so 3 great phrases that we just looked at. Let's listen to our dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more.
Are you okay, man? You don't look very well.
I feel terrible. I went out last night with Trevor, and things got a little out of hand.
Nice. So where did you guys go?
We hit up a couple of local bars and met up with some friends. Everything was cool until Mike came along, and it turned out that it was his birthday yesterday.
Oh no. Mike's birthday is a drink fest for sure.
Tell me about it. We drank everything in the bar.
Is that why you missed work today?
Yeah, I woke up this morning feeling really nauseous. I threw up like 5 times.
Ew.
I was so dehydrated that I drank a gallon of water and my head has been pounding all day. I swear, I am never going to drink again.
Too bad, man. Tonight is Tracy's going away party, and she asked if you were gonna go.
Oh yeah? I'm there.
So it sounds like these guys sure like to go out and have a few drinks, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is a very common thing among, well, young people, usually in the United States. You know, after a day at the office or something, they'll go, or even Europe, they'll go to the pub, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that in America and Canada, we're very careful about alcohol and young people, right?
Yeah, exactly. The legal drinking age in the most part of the United States is 21 years of age.
And really, many parents or families will never let their children drink alcohol until they're 21.
Right. And also the laws that control alcohol, like for example, on television, if you notice a TV commercial with a beer or a wine, you will never see the person actually drinking it. It's illegal.
Yeah, that's true.
While in other countries, it's okay. You'll see people drinking it and having fun. In these commercials, they can only maybe put them close to their lips, but not drink it.
Interesting. And another weird thing is that, sometimes you might want to sit in your back garden or out on your porch and have a beer after work, right? But in places, it's totally illegal to do that. You can't be outside with alcohol.
Right. You can't be seen drinking, or you can't be on the sidewalk or on a bus drinking. Well, in other places, you can, right?
You can just have a beer on the subway.
So it's a little bit different policies on alcohol control. What do you guys think about it? Do you think it's correct, or do you think maybe it's a little bit too exaggerated?
Hi, welcome. Are you ready to listen to our story? It was a cold Saturday morning when I opened my eyes and immediately regretted it. My head was throbbing like a drum line in a marching band. Every sound in the apartment, whether it was the distant hum of traffic or the ticking of the clock, felt like it was echoing inside my skull. I reached for the glass of water on my nightstand and realized it was empty. Great. My mouth was as dry as a desert, and I could feel the consequences of last night's choices settling in. Now, let me tell you how it all started, because there's always a story behind a hangover, right? Last night was supposed to be just a chill get-together. My friend Carlos had just landed a new job, and we wanted to celebrate a little. Just a few drinks, we all said. But those few drinks turned into tequila shots, then cocktails, then someone ordered a round of beer towers. Before I knew it, it had turned into what people call a full-on drink fest. That's when there's just endless booze flowing, and everyone's toasting, laughing, dancing, and losing track of time and their limits. The thing about drinking is that while the fun is real in the moment, the after effects don't mess around. This morning, I was nauseous, and that word isn't just a fancy way to say I feel sick. No, it's that horrible spinning feeling in your stomach and head, like you're on a boat during a storm. Every time I moved, I felt like I might throw up. That's a very common and formal phrase for vomiting. It's not the prettiest phrase, but it's super useful, and people use it all the time. So there I was, lying in bed, dehydrated, which means my body was crying for water. I had no fluids left in me. My lips were dry, my throat burned, and my skin even felt tight. If you've ever been so thirsty that water feels like a magical cure, then you know what I mean. And then the headache, or more like a war zone inside my head. I had a pounding headache. The word pounding is important here. It means something is beating or hitting repeatedly and hard. Think of a construction site. That's what my brain felt like. Now, I knew I had to call in sick for work. But what do you say when you're not technically sick, just suffering the consequences of poor decision making. You need to learn how to explain this carefully if you ever find yourself in this situation. You can say, I'm not feeling well today, I'm nauseous and have a severe headache. I think I need to rest and hydrate. That sounds responsible and honest without oversharing. Also, there's this very useful phrase, things got out of hand. It means something started fine but then quickly became uncontrollable. So if someone asks how the night went, just say, everything was cool until things got out of hand. It's crazy how fast things can change from laughter and music to regret and pain. But hey, this experience taught me a lot, especially about limits, responsibility, and how to describe all these sensations clearly in English. And just when I was swearing to myself, I'm never drinking again, guess what popped up on my phone? A message. Don't forget it's Maya's farewell dinner tonight. Starts at 7, and suddenly, the decision wasn't so simple anymore. I spent most of the morning lying on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, trying to recover. The lights were dimmed, the curtains were shut tight, and I avoided my phone because even the screen felt too bright. If you've ever had a hangover, you know it's not just about feeling sick. It's like your entire body is punishing you for the fun you had. But the worst part? Your brain doesn't let you forget it. You keep replaying every toast, every shot, every just one more moment. As I sipped a cup of warm ginger tea, highly recommended. By the way, I thought about how common this situation actually is. Celebrations, parties, stress relief. Drinking is part of many social settings, especially in countries like the US, the UK, and much of Europe. But what people often forget is the recovery phase and how to talk about it in English when someone asks, "Are you okay?" or "What happened last night?" So let's break down a few real-life phrases that can be useful the morning after a party. Instead of saying, "I'm sick," which sounds serious and maybe even scary, try something more casual and honest. Say, "I'm really hungover," or "I had a rough night." If someone knows you were out partying, you can say, "Last night got a little crazy," or "We went a bit overboard." Now, went overboard is a great idiom. It means you did too much of something. It could be food, work, exercise, but in this case, drinking. Saying "we went overboard with the drinks" tells people you drank more than you should have without having to go into all the messy details. I also remembered a really useful phrasal verb, sleep it off. When you're feeling bad after drinking, resting or sleeping helps your body recover. So you can say, "I'm just trying to sleep it off." It's casual, friendly, and makes you sound like a native speaker. Around noon, I started to feel slightly better. I took a long shower, drank lots of water, and had some toast. Simple food is the best after drinking, something bland and light. My grandma used to say, "Toast and tea can fix almost anything." She might have been right. Just then, my phone buzzed again. A message from Maya. "Hope you're coming tonight. It'll be my last night in town. Wouldn't be the same without you." Now, what do you do when you're still recovering, but there's another social event waiting? You have to decide between being responsible and joining your friends. It's a real-world situation. So how do you express this internal conflict in English? You can say, "I'm torn," which means you can't decide between two things. For example, "I'm torn between staying home to rest and going out to see everyone." It's a phrase people use when they're stuck between two emotional or difficult choices. Looking at Maya's message, I typed back, "Still recovering from last night. Feeling pretty rough, but I'll try my best to make it." That phrased "feeling pretty rough" is informal and very commonly used. It means you don't feel well, but not in a dramatic or overly serious way. You could also say, "I'm not at 100% or I'm still a bit out of it." I put the phone down and looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes were tired and my head still ached, but something inside me said, "Go." It wasn't just about another party. It was about showing up for a friend. and maybe drinking a bit less this time, or at least trying. By late afternoon, I was moving around the apartment like a slow-motion version of myself. My body felt heavy, my stomach still a little off, but at least I could stand without needing to sit back down. I made myself a smoothie banana, yogurt, a little honey, and ice. It wasn't a magic cure, but it helped, cold, creamy, and easy on the stomach. While sipping it, I started thinking about why hangovers hit some people harder than others. I mean, Carlos had just as many drinks as I did, maybe more, and he sent me a selfie that morning of him jogging in the park. Jogging. Meanwhile, I felt like I had been hit by a train. Here's a useful English phrase that came to mind: built differently. When someone seems to handle something much better than you can say, I guess he's just built differently. It's not about physical construction. It means someone's body, attitude, or even habits make them respond differently. In my case, I could say Carlos doesn't get hangovers like I do. He's just built differently. But let's be honest, some of it comes down to preparation. And that brings us to some smart English expressions related to alcohol and prevention. If you know you're going to a party, it's smart to pace yourself. That means to go slowly, especially when drinking. If someone's drinking to fast, you can say, "Hey, pace yourself." Man, it's friendly advice, but it can save you from a miserable morning. Another smart move is to line your stomach. This means eating something before you start drinking. In English, people often say, make sure you line your stomach before you start drinking. It's not literal you're not putting a line in your stomach, but it means protecting it with food so alcohol doesn't hit you too hard. As I thought about all this, I opened my closet to find something decent to wear to Maya's farewell: a clean shirt, jeans, and a jacket. Keep it simple. I wasn't planning to stay late. Just show my face, give her a hug, maybe sip on a soda. That was the plan. Now here's another expression that people use a lot: show your face. It means to make a short appearance, usually because it's expected. For example, I wasn't feeling great, but I had to show my face at Maya's dinner. Native speakers use this all the time when they don't want to be rude, but don't have the energy for a long night. As I got ready, I kept repeating that phrase to myself. Just show your face. Don't stay too long, and definitely don't drink. And yet, I could already hear it in my mind, someone handing me a glass and saying, "Come on, just one." And that's where another powerful phrase comes in: peer pressure. When people around you push you to do something just because they're doing it, that's called peer pressure. It's very real, and it's hard to resist sometimes, especially in social situations. But today, I reminded myself I don't have to say yes. You can always say, "I'm good, thanks," or "not tonight, I'm taking it easy." You don't owe anyone an explanation. I tied my shoes, grabbed my keys, and stepped out the door. The cool air hit my face, and it felt refreshing. I wasn't fully recovered, but I was better than this morning. And as I walked toward the bus stop, I told myself something important. Tonight, I would make better choices and still be part of the moment. The restaurant was already buzzing when I arrived. Laughter floated out the door, plates clinked, and music played softly in the background. I took a deep breath and stepped inside, hoping I didn't look as tired as I felt. As I scanned the room, I spotted Maya at the far end of a long table, surrounded by friends, glowing under the warm lights. Her eyes lit up when she saw me, and she waved me over with both hands. I smiled, gave her a hug, and said, "Wouldn't miss it for the world." That's a very common and warm phrase you can use when someone invites you and you want to show how much it means to be there. It doesn't literally mean you'd travel the whole world, it just expresses sincere effort and appreciation. I took a seat between two friends and was immediately offered a drink. A cold beer, condensation dripping down the glass. But this time, I shook my head politely and said, "I'm laying low tonight." That's a great phrase to remember. Laying low means you're avoiding attention or taking things easy. People use it in different contexts like hiding from the spotlight or just staying calm. In this case, it meant no alcohol. My friend raised his eyebrows, laughed, and said, "Rough night." I nodded and simply replied, "Let's just say things got a little out of hand." It's funny how one sentence can summarize an entire evening. Now here's something important for English learners. Social events are filled with phrases you don't learn from textbooks. When someone says, "What's your poison?" at a bar or party, they're not asking about real poison, it's slang for "what do you want to drink?" Or when someone says, "Bottoms up," it's a toast meaning "let's drink." These idioms make conversations more natural, and recognizing them helps you blend in better. As dinner was served, I felt grateful, not just for the food, but for the warmth of the moment. Maya was telling stories about her new job abroad. Everyone was laughing, and I noticed how connected people felt even without drinking. That's something I hadn't realized before. You don't need alcohol to belong. You just need presence. Eye contact, a shared joke, a sincere smile. The waiter passed by with a tray of colorful cocktails. This time, I asked for a ginger ale with ice. Keeping it classy, I joked. Another great phrase. Keeping it classy means doing something in a simple, stylish, or mature way. It's often said with a smile or wink, like a personal compliment. Someone beside me said, "Wow, I should do the same." I always feel awful the next morning. That led to a real conversation about hangovers, pressure, and how hard it is to say no when everyone around you is drinking. That's when I shared something I've learned. You can always have a line ready, a go-to response. For example, "I've got an early morning," or "taking a break this week." These simple sentences help you avoid awkward explanations. The best part? No one judged me. In fact, a few people nodded and said, "Good idea." One guy even said, "Honestly, I wish I'd done the same last weekend." As I sipped my ginger ale, I realized something powerful. The decision to not drink wasn't boring, it was freeing. I could remember every conversation. I felt in control. And tomorrow, I wouldn't wake up with regrets. Sometimes, all it takes is a quiet choice in a loud room. The dinner stretched on, and with every passing minute, I felt more present, more grounded. The food was delicious, perfectly grilled chicken, roasted vegetables, warm bread. I took my time, enjoying each bite. There's something special about eating slowly, especially when you're not distracted by alcohol. You actually savor the food. That's a great word, savor. It means to enjoy something deeply, especially taste or smell, by paying attention to it. People around me were starting to get louder. Drinks kept arriving, the music was turned up a notch, and the energy shifted. The table next to us even started singing. That's when I noticed a few people at our table getting a bit tipsy. Now, tipsy is an informal way of saying slightly drunk. Not totally out of control, but you can tell someone's had a few too many. They laugh a little louder, talk a little faster, maybe get overly friendly or emotional. Someone bumped into the waiter and spilled a glass of wine. Another dropped their phone on the floor and couldn't stop laughing. That's when I heard someone say, "Okay, I think we need to cut him off." That's another useful phrase. Cut someone off means to stop serving them alcohol because they've had enough or too much. It's a phrase you'll hear in bars, restaurants, or even among friends trying to protect each other. The person beside me leaned over and whispered, "Do you ever feel weird being the only sober one?" I smiled. "Not anymore," I said. It's kind of like being behind the scenes at a show. That made her laugh. The truth is, staying sober in a drinking crowd can feel strange at first. You might feel like an outsider, but there's a trick. Shift your focus. Instead of feeling left out, become the observer. Pay attention to the conversations, the expressions, the rhythm of the evening. You'll notice so many things others miss. And that brings me to one of my favorite English phrases, fly on the wall. It means to quietly observe a situation without being noticed. You can say, I felt like a fly on the wall at that party just watching everything unfold. It's a powerful way to describe staying present but not involved in the chaos. Later in the evening, Maya gave a small speech. She stood up, holding her glass sparkling water. I noticed and thanked everyone. Her voice shook a little, and a few people got teary-eyed. She talked about friendship, change, and courage. And as she spoke, the whole table went quiet. Even the loudest voices fell silent. That's when I realized moments like this are why we gather. Not the drinks, not the noise. It's about people, connection, support. After the speech, someone turned to me and said, "Thanks for coming." I wasn't sure you'd make it after last night. I laughed. Neither was I, but I'm glad I did. That's another natural expression, I'm glad I did. It's a simple way of saying you're happy about a choice you made. You can use it after anything: accepting an invitation, taking a risk, speaking up, staying sober. As the evening wound down, I felt something new, proud. Not just because I resisted the drinks, but because I showed up fully. And the next time someone says, "Come on, just one drink won't hurt," I'll smile and say, "I'm good. I found something better." By the time I left the restaurant, the sky had turned a deep shade of navy blue. The streets were quiet, the breeze gentle, and the city lights flickered like stars on the pavement. I walked slowly, hands in my jacket pockets, letting the night wrap around me like a calm blanket. My mind was clear, my steps steady. It was one of those rare moments where you feel completely in tune with yourself, balanced, honest, awake. That's when it really hit me. I wasn't missing out on anything. In fact, I had gained something. There's a phrase in English, clarity is power. It means when your mind is clear, free of confusion, free of fog, you make better decisions. You see situations for what they really are, and you act with confidence. That night, for the first time in a long while, I felt that clarity. So many times before, I had gone out, drank too much, laughed aloud, and ended the night with blurry memories. Sometimes I'd wake up feeling anxious, thinking, did I say something stupid? Did I embarrass myself? That's something people don't always talk about, anxiety. It's a blend of hangover and anxiety, and it describes that uncomfortable feeling you get after drinking when your body's recovering, but your mind is full of worrying. This time, there was none of that. I remembered every conversation. I remembered Maya's speech. I remembered who I sat next to, what jokes were told, and how the waiter accidentally set fire to a napkin. Yes, that happened, and it was hilarious, but I remembered it clearly. And that's something worth sharing with anyone learning English, the idea of presence. Being present means you're fully engaged in the moment. It's something we all strive for, whether we're learning a language, building friendships, or just living our daily lives. You don't need anything external, no drink, no substance to connect. Sometimes just showing up as your real self is more than enough. As I walked home, I passed a small cafe with fairy lights strung along the windows. A couple sat outside, sipping tea and sharing a dessert. I couldn't hear them, but their body language said it all: soft laughter, relaxed shoulders, genuine smiles. That's connection. That's real. I thought about how hard it can be to resist the pressure to drink. Especially when you're young, especially when it's normal in your culture or friend group. But here's the thing, you can set the tone. You can be the one who leads by example. You can be the person who says, "I'm good with water," and still have the best time at the table. That reminds me of a phrase we use often in English, to own it. When someone owns something, they take pride in it. They're confident about their choice, even if it's different. So if you choose not to drink, own it. Say it with pride, with a smile. No thanks, I'm good. You'd be surprised how many people will admire you for that. When I finally reached home, I poured myself a glass of water, stretched my legs out on the couch, and smiled. Not because the night had been wild or crazy, but because it had been real. No headache, no regrets, no forgotten moments. Just clarity, peace, and a quiet reminder that sometimes the best nights are the ones you remember from start to finish. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the window, and I woke up feeling good. No pounding head, no nausea, no dry mouth. Just a peaceful, rested feeling that I hadn't experienced after a night out in a long time. I got up, brewed a cup of coffee, and sat by the window with my journal. Yes, I keep a journal not every day, but often enough to reflect on what's going on in life. It helps clear my mind and track progress. If you're learning English, keeping a journal can be one of the best ways to practice. You don't have to be perfect, just write what you feel. Describe your day, your thoughts, a funny moment, whatever comes to mind. As I sipped my coffee, I started writing about the night before. I wrote about Maya's goodbye, the energy of the restaurant, the warmth of the conversations, and how proud I felt. I used words like grateful, present, grounded. These are emotional vocabulary words that are great to learn not just to improve your English, but to better understand yourself. Then I thought about something that stuck with me, being intentional. That word intentional means doing something with a clear reason and purpose. It's different from just going along with whatever happens. Last night, I had made a conscious decision to stay sober. Not because someone told me to, but because I chose to, and that made all the difference. There's a powerful English idiom I want to share here. Draw the line. When you draw the line, it means you set a clear boundary. You decide what's okay and what's not okay for you. For example, I draw the line at drinking on work nights, or I draw the line at more than 2 drinks. It's a way to take control of your actions and protect your well-being. Looking out the window, I saw a group of people jogging in the park. And you know what? I felt like joining them. That's the beauty of waking up with clarity. You feel motivated to move, to do better, to make the most of your day. I got dressed, put on my running shoes, and stepped outside. As I jogged through the park, I listened to a podcast about self-discipline. The speaker said something that hit me hard. Small decisions shape big results, and that's so true. Choosing to skip 1 drink, to get enough sleep, to show up for a friend without losing yourself, those little decisions build up. They shape your habits. They shape your confidence. Later, I bumped into Carlos, the same friend who had somehow gone jogging yesterday after our heavy night out. He laughed when he saw me. Wow, look who's back from the dead. I laughed too. Not this time, I said. I took it easy last night. He raised his eyebrows. Really? Good for you, man. And that's another English expression to hold on to, good for you. It means someone is acknowledging your smart choice or progress, even if they don't always say it in a serious way. It's a small phrase, but it can feel surprisingly encouraging when you hear it. We jogged together for a bit, talking about everything and nothing. I noticed how different the conversation felt, clearer, deeper. No foggy memories, no regrets. Just 2 friends enjoying a morning, grateful for a fresh start. That's when I realized, this is how I want more of my life to feel. Not rushed, not regretful, but intentional, grounded, and full of simple, real moments that I won't need anyone else to remind me of later. Just me, fully there for every part of it. Later that afternoon, I met up with my cousin Lena at a cozy little cafe near the library. She had just flown in from out of town and wanted to catch up before heading to a family event. We grabbed a table by the window, ordered cappuccinos, and started chatting like we hadn't missed a beat. She looked at me with a curious smile and said, "You look well rested." That's rare after a Friday night. I laughed. Yeah, I stayed sober at Maya's farewell dinner. No hangover, no drama. Just good conversations and ginger ale. Her eyebrows lifted. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen you turn down a drink at a party. What changed? Now, that's a real moment when you know someone's been paying attention to your patterns. And it's a chance to reflect out loud. I leaned back in my chair and said, honestly, I was tired of waking up feeling like garbage. I wanted to remember the night, not regret it. Lena nodded thoughtfully. Makes sense. I'm trying to cut back too. But it's hard, especially when everyone expects you to drink. I always feel like the odd one out. And that's a conversation so many people can relate to, especially in English-speaking cultures where alcohol is often tied to social events. There's even a term for that feeling, social pressure. When people around you expect you to behave a certain way and you feel like you have to follow along to fit in. That's when I told her something I've been learning. You can change the vibe without changing the group. That's a really common word in English, vibe. It means the mood or the energy of a person or a place. You can say the vibe at the party was really chill or he has such a positive vibe. So I said if you show up confident and happy with your choice, you don't kill the vibe, you actually raise it. She laughed. That's deep. I grinned. I'm full of wisdom now that I'm drinking ginger ale at parties. But seriously, here's a phrase I shared with her that really helps in social situations. I'm pacing myself. It's a polite way to let others know you're being intentional without making them feel judged. You're not saying, I don't drink, or I'm better than you. You're just saying, I've got my limits and I'm respecting them. That's one of the most powerful things you can do, set your own tone. And in English, there are so many calm, friendly ways to do it. Try saying, I'm keeping it light tonight. Just sticking with soda today, taking a break this weekend. These responses keep the conversation smooth and respectful while showing your confidence. Most people will accept it and move on. As we finished our coffee, Lena looked at me and said, you know, it's kind of refreshing hearing this from you. I always thought saying no to a drink would make things awkward, but now it feels like a choice I can make. And that's the point. It's not about giving up fun. It's about redefining what fun looks like for you. We hugged goodbye and she said, thanks for the real talk. I needed that. Sometimes the most valuable conversations are the ones that remind us of our power to choose, to be present, to protect our peace. And to realize that saying no thanks can be the strongest, most liberating English phrase you ever learn. That evening, I sat at my desk, flipping through an old notebook filled with random scribbles, goals, and reflections from the past year. One page stood out written late one night after a particularly rough hangover. It said, I want to feel good about the morning after, not dread it. Reading that now, it felt like I had come full circle. The truth is, deciding to make a change, any change starts with awareness. But real transformation comes when that change turns into a habit. Over the past 24 hours, I had made small, intentional choices to show up for a friend, to stay sober, to stay present, to own my decisions. And the reward wasn't just physical clarity, it was emotional clarity too. There's a phrase in English I kept thinking about, turning a corner. It means to move past a difficult point and begin improving or healing. People say it when someone recovers from illness, or when things finally start getting better. You could say, after that weekend, I felt like I turned a corner in how I see myself. And honestly, that's exactly what happened. I used to think alcohol was the glue that held social moments together, the way people connected, laughed, loosened up. But what I saw instead was this. It's not the drinks that make the moment, it's the people, the intention, the presence. When you remove the pressure to fit in, you start building something stronger, your own confidence. That's when another English phrase came to mind, clear-headed. It means being mentally sharp, calm, and able to think clearly. It's how I felt walking into that restaurant. It's how I felt during the conversations, and even more so the next morning. Being clear-headed doesn't make you boring. It makes you powerful. I opened a new page in my notebook and wrote down a few phrases that had helped me. I'm laying low tonight. I'm good with water, thanks. I'm keeping it light. I draw the line there. I'm pacing myself. These aren't just English expressions, they're tools. They give you freedom. They help you build your identity in any language, especially when you need to express something personal in a social space. And here's the best part. The more you use them, the more natural they become. Language is like that. It doesn't grow in textbooks, it grows in real conversations, real choices, real life. So as I closed my notebook, I smiled not just because I had made it through the weekend without falling back into old patterns, but because I had found something better than a temporary high. I had found ownership, peace, and strength in simplicity. And to anyone learning English or navigating social pressure, remember this: your words are powerful. Use them to protect your energy. Use them to shape your story. Use them to be proud of the morning after. Thank you for being a part of Best English Podcast Zone.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Become out of control.
Got a little out of hand.
Very drunk.
Wasted.
To go to a place.
Hit.
To vomit.
Barf.
To happen a certain way.
Turned out.
Medicine you take to cure a headache.
Painkillers.
I agree. I understand.
Tell me about it.
I feel very bad.
I feel like death.
Feel like you are going to vomit.
Nauseous.
Drink alcohol when you have a hangover to cure it.
Hair of the dog.
Vomit.
Threw up.
Lacking water.
Dehydrated.
To beat loudly and quickly.
Pounding.
Let's try that faster. To beat loudly and quickly.
Pounding.
Feel like you are going to vomit.
Nauseous.
Drink alcohol when you have a hangover to cure it.
Hair of the dog.
To happen a certain way.
Turned out.
To go to a place.
Hit.
I agree. I understand.
Tell me about it.
Lacking water.
Dehydrated.
Vomit.
Threw up.
Very drunk.
Wasted.
Become out of control.
Got a little out of hand.
Medicine you take to cure a headache.
Painkillers.
To vomit.
Barf.
I feel very bad.
I feel like death.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Got a little out of hand. Honey, the kids are getting a little out of hand. Can you do something? Got a little out of hand. Guys, this argument is getting out of hand. Let's all calm down. Got a little out of hand. The party last night got out of hand. The neighbors called the police. You have to come to the party tonight. It's gonna be a beer fest. It was a real food fest last night at Pete's house. There was enough food to feed a small country. We have to go to Jessica's birthday party. It's gonna be a chick fest for sure. Nauseous. It's normal to feel nauseous sometimes during a pregnancy. Nauseous. Every time I get on a boat, I feel really nauseous. Nauseous. If you get nauseous on the plane, take 2 of these pills. Threw up. Carl got on the roller coaster and threw up all over me. Threw up. If you feel like you are going to throw up, be sure to tell me so I can pull over. Threw up. If you have too much to drink, you will throw up later. Pounding. I have a pounding pain in my head. Do you have any aspirin? Pounding. I can't take it anymore. I've had a pounding headache all morning. Pounding. My head started pounding the moment I saw my ex-girlfriend.